Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Rasalita Trimaulita and I'm from 5BD class, English Department, State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya. Today I would like to deliver my presentation for research methodology course with the title Sampling. Before I start my presentation, I want to show you my content. There are 4 points that I'm going to tell you. The first is the definition of sample and population. The second is sample size and sampling frame. The third is types of sampling techniques. And the last is about sampling advantages. So let's start with the first point with the title, what is sample and population. Based on the definition, sample is a number of individual cases drawn from a larger population, while population is the entire group that you want to draw conclusion about. So sample is the specific group that you will collect the data from, and you have to remember that of course the size of samples is always less than population, because sample is the specific object of the specific group of population. For the second point is about sample size and sampling frame. Before we start with sample size and sampling frame, we have to know what is sampling. So sampling is process of drawing a representative group of individual or elements from a particular population. So sampling, this is a process of selection or the drawing of the accurate representation of a unit, group, or sample population of interest or of your study or your research. And the next is what is sample size. Sample size is the total number of samples selected for the study or research. So sample size depends on your population. How large your population. Your population of course affect your sample size. And what is sampling frame? For sampling frame, this is the list of subject or people under the study or research. So the sampling frame, this is the actual list of individuals that the sample will be drawn from. Ideally, it should include all the population. And next is about types of sampling techniques. For types of sampling techniques, based on Blalock 1960, classified the sampling methods into 2 categories on the basis of the natural selection of the sample units. So you can see the structure for sampling techniques. It classified into 2. The first is probability sampling, or we call by random sampling technique. This means that every member of the population has a chance of being selected or being included in the sample. Meanwhile, the non-probability sampling or non-random sampling technique, it means that not every member of the population has been included or being selected in the sample. For probability sampling, it have four type of sampling method. The first is simple random sample. For simple random sample, each member has an equal chance of being selected and being a part of the study or research. And in the sample population, they are chosen purely on random basis. So you can see the illustration here. We just choose the sample randomly. So it gonna be this, and this. There are many percent in illustration, but we can randomly choose for the sample. There is no rules. That's why we use that. That's why the name is sample random. And this sample is the simplest one of sampling method. For the second probability sampling is systematic sampling. For systematic sample, every member of the population is listed with a number, but instead of randomly generating numbers, individuals are chosen at regular intervals and select the member of the population at a regular interval or symbolized as K and determined in advance. So for systematic sample, you can see the illustration. Um, for choosing the sample, it used the regular interval. For example, all the all the students all the students of English department or in my class are listed in alphabetical order. So from the first 10 numbers, you can randomly select a starting point. For example, number 6. For number 6 onwards, every 10% on the list on the absent is selected, like 6, 16, 26, 36, and so on. And you can end up with a sample of 100 people. The next is about probability sampling, stratified sample. This is the probability sampling method, the third probability sampling method. For the illustration, you can see there are 4 steps in here. For stratified sample, you dividing the population into subpopulation or into subgroup, what you call by strata. And based on the specific characteristic, then each stratum or strata is sampled using another probability sampling method, such as cluster or simple random sampling. So the first step is you from your population, you divide it into subpopulation or subgroup, named strata, and after that, in random selection, you can choose your sample randomly, use a cluster, or you can use simple random sampling like the previous one. Using name generator or random picker, and after that you can get the sample. For satisfied sample, this is for example, you can use example like in the class there are, or in State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya there are uh, 800 female students and 200 male students. So you want to ensure that the sample reflect about the gender balance of the State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya student. So you can sort the population into strata based on the gender, and you can get the random selection and sample. Next is about cluster sample, the fourth probability sampling. For cluster sample, this is have a similarity with the previous one. This is same like stratified class, stratified sample. Researchers divide a population into smaller groups known as cluster. For the previous one, we call it by strata, and here we call it cluster. Then randomly select among the cluster to form a sample. And also this method is good for dealing with large and dispersed population. This is the step of the cluster sample. The step 1, you define the population and then you cluster the population. After that, you randomly select the cluster, and the last, you collect the data from cluster. Next is non-probability sampling or non-probability sampling method. The first method is convening sample. For convening sample, this is simply includes the individual who happen to be most accessible to the researchers, and the objects in the sample population are chosen purely on a random basis. For convenient sample, for example, you are researching opinions about student support service in your college or your university. So after each of your classes, you ask your friends in your class to complete a survey about the topic that you study. So this is a convenient sample to get data, to collecting the data, because you only survey students taking the same as your classes. So it is very convenient for you. And but the sample is not complete because your friend is in the same class, like in the same class with you. So if you want to get more complete data, you can ask your friends from another class or another level. The next is voluntary response sample. For voluntary response sample, the sample of voluntary response based primarily on ease of access, and researchers the don't select a participant by contacting them. People are volunteering. So there are many people volunteer themselves to be a sample in some experiment or research. So we call it by voluntary response sample. And the next is purposive sample. For purposive sample, you can see the illustration. This type is sampling involve the researchers using their judgment to select a sample that is most useful to the purpose of the research. And the next is snowball sample. For snowball sample, this can be used to recruit participants via other participants. So you can see the illustration. One person is influence the others person. So it called by snowball sample. For example, you are trying to discuss or research about uh, to search the population in the hard it's too hard to access there to access your population. For example, into the jungle or in the neglected village. So you can contact one person of the population of your study that your study. For example, like the leader of the community or something like that. For the next is quota sample. For quota sample, in the sampling, the investigator initially set some relevant categories of people and decide the number of units should be selected for the study as a sample. For quota sample, uh, the researchers or the experimenter um, make a line or make a quota at the beginning for the sample. For example, like five 500 student 500 male student or 50 male students, like this. And the next is sampling advantages. Reduce cost and time, reduce resource deployment, accuracy of data, intensive and exhaustive data, and apply properties to a larger population. Of course, using sampling technique or method, it reduces cost and time, because we doesn't have to sample many people. I think that's all for my presentation. Thanks for watching.